Howdy, this is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Tristan, coming to you from Advanced Chiropractic Relief in Houston, Texas. And today I'm joined with Miss Erica. Erica's a new patient here in the office at Advanced Chiropractic Relief to get her first ring dinger and Johnson BioPhysics adjustment. Miss Erica's coming in with a primary complaint of low back pain and left SI joint pain that's radiating down into the left portion of her outside of that calf, which is going to be the L4 nerve root, that L4-L5 junction there. So she's also dealing with some numbness and tingling into that calf, and even onto the inside portion of her foot there, which is also, again, that L4 nerve root. She's dealing with some lower thoracic pain and stiffness, as well as some upper thoracic pain and stiffness, primarily on the left-hand side, correct? All right. So she's coming in today for her very first visit, and she's seen some other chiropractors and physicians in the past, and I want you to kind of just share your experiences with those guys versus how the visit's gone so far today here in this office.
They've just been very much in and out. Okay, I can't fix you. Sorry.
Kind of just ask where the pain is, pop, maybe see you next week, but you probably didn't go back next week, right?
No.
Yeah, so we've already sat Erica down, gone through a full history and exam, and we've done a lot of tests that she said none of the other chiropractors worked on. I asked a lot of questions that a lot of the other chiropractors didn't ask. So again, we make sure that it's safe for all of our patients to get adjusted before we even lay hands on them. So I gave them an example from this morning. I had a patient that came in with a previous history of heart attack, and I asked him, he'd seen 2 or 3 other chiropractors in the past. I asked him, did any of those other chiropractors know about the heart attack you had? He said, no, they never asked. And so if we never ask those certain questions, we're never going to know what a patient might be dealing with, because they're coming in for spine pain. They may not realize, hey, this heart thing that I was dealing with also plays a role into the rest of my body into getting adjusted. So that's why we go through such a detailed history and exam to make sure it's safe for all of our patients to get worked on here. So that's just an example of why we do those detailed histories and exams for you. So I'm going to have you go face down here. Actually, we're going to start with the posture analysis first. I'm going to show them how much we're going to straighten you out today. So first, I want you to relax those hands either side for me. Good. I want you to bend that head as far forward and backwards as you can. Good. And back to neutral. We've already gone over all these things with Miss Erica. So she's dealing with some forward head posture and right translation. That's why that right hand's looking a little bit longer than the left. And then we've also got left pelvic translation. So she's got some light coming through between the right wrist and pelvis, but not almost any light coming through on that left-hand side there. So I told her, remember what all these things look like, and we're going to see how much we straighten her up after the visit today, okay? Ms. Erica, I'll have you go face down into this paper for me. So we're starting with the Johnson BioPhysics paper first. All right, so we're going to throw our leg checks here. So she is short on that left-hand side by 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And as I bring these guys up, it gets longer by about 1/4 inch. And that tightens up in that low back and pelvis, doesn't it, Miss Erica?
Yes.
So remember what those sensations feel like right there, and we'll check that again in just a bit, okay? So we're going to start with her left SI joint first. I'm going to work with the tension of this table because you're not nearly as big as the last patient I had.
Okay.
There we go. All right, so again, you've got the easy job. All you got to do is breathe and relax. Good. Perfect. Good. So that was sacrum, and now we're working on that right SI joint. Last one here. Perfect. So next I'm going to work through the lumbar vertebra here, and these will probably be the most tender at first because they've never been adjusted like this, okay?
Okay.
So I'll start way down here at L5. Nice big breath in through that nose for me. All the way out. Good. I know you felt that movement in there. Nice big breath. Out through that nose. Good. Two more. Good. Last one here. Perfect. So I'll explain a little bit too about my arm angles there, like we were talking about earlier. So again, as I work through the lumbar vertebra here, if you watch that portion of the video back, you might even be able to see I'm changing the angles at which I'm actually adjusting them because I'm orientating them to the actual facet angles of how the lumbar spine should be articulating. So actually, after going through those pelvic and lumbar adjustments, let's check the leg length one more time. So already, and if you'd like to come check any of this out, you're more than welcome to. So she is completely even now after those lumbar pelvic adjustments. Tell me what this feels like in that low back and pelvis this time. Feel anything at all?
No.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
So So again, not only do I want you to feel those things, but I want you to be able to visually see those with all the orthopedic neurological testing too. So let's get to this concrete here we were talking about earlier. She is very stiff to these mid and lower thoracics here. And a lot of those other chiropractors that she was going to couldn't get much movement out of there. So she told me good luck today. Let's see. Ms. Erica, I'll have you take a nice deep breath in through your nose for me. Blow it all the way out. Good, I want you to let those shoulders just kind of sink and drop towards the table as I get to this position right there. Good, just like that. So you felt that movement in there, didn't you? So it's not as auditory, you don't hear a lot of that loud popping and clicking, but I guarantee you she felt that underneath there. That's exactly what I'm looking for, is that movement, not just the popping and clicking. So I'm gonna go right there between those shoulder blades next. Big breath in through that nose for me. All the way out, good. Let that air just keep sinking out of that mouth for me. Good, just like that. So like I said, sometimes it's about the force, sometimes it's about the line of drives. If you're not using the correct orientations and the right lines of drives through these thoracics, it doesn't matter how hard you push, you're not gonna get movement. All right, so mid-thoracics here. Nice big breath in through that nose. All the way out through the mouth. Good. Noisy all the way up today. One more right here in these upper thoracics. Nice big breath in. All the way out. Let those shoulders just keep sinking and relaxing towards the bottom of that table for me. Good, just like that. So, you're gonna feel your head popping up next, Miss Erica.
Alright.
Remember that forward head posture I showed you in the mirror?
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna work on it in this office. So I'm gonna work on reestablishing that normal forward lordotic curve in her cervical spine. And again, the angles that I'm using with these adjustments change depending on where I'm at in the spine. There we go. So you go face up for me next, Miss Erica. Already a little different than your last chiropractic experience. And she's only seen one video. She didn't want to get scared off after seeing one ring dinger, so. But don't worry, we'll make sure she's still kicking after her.
Okay.
So next, I'll have you scoot up into this headpiece right there for me. Perfect, right there. So next, I'm gonna contact on either side of your cheeks, and again, work on getting that head back up over your shoulders, okay? Last one. Perfect. So for these next ones, I'll have you go arms out to the side like a big old T. Okay, just like that. I'll have you scoot down about an inch so I can get my hands on top of the shoulder right there. Perfect. I'm gonna loosen this up a bit here too. All right, so we're gonna start on those AC joints, and again, all you've gotta do is let those shoulders kind of relax to either side, and focus on that nice, deep breathing pattern. Good. Some extra clavicles. More. Let all that air out through that nose for me. I feel you holding it, don't worry. Last one. Perfect. So next I'm gonna have you relax those hands right there on your tummy for me. I'm gonna start by decompressing you from the lower end first today, okay?
Okay.
So if you let this leg go kind of like a limp rag here for me. I know you got more range of motion in the knee than that. Come on, let it go for me. There we go. Boom, just like that. So you should have felt that from the knee all the way up into that hip and low back.
Yes, oh gosh.
Same thing on this side. All you gotta do is think about letting that go like a limp rag here for me. Boom. So again, you should have felt that from the knee all the way up into the hip and maybe even into that low back, did you?
Yes.
Perfect. So hope you approved. A lot deeper than the video you saw, huh? So I'll get you swing those legs out this way for me. Y'all are gonna get some popping and clicking and rain sounds in the background, so like Brett Bender will be some ASMR videos in here, huh? Shout out to Dr. Bender. Next, we're gonna work on that right shoulder. So for this one, all I need you to do is take that same nice deep breath, and have you look up at the ceiling for me. Just like that.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know that joint could move like that, huh?
No. That's awesome.
You're sounding off for the crack addicts today.
Oh my gosh.
You might get another 1 million views on YouTube, huh? Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Sound like a double hour on that side. You said those other chiropractors couldn't get any movement, huh? Well, it wasn't you. That's my nice way of saying it. You like to have a little fun in here too. I told him I'm a part-time comedian. I get to lay all my bad jokes on the patients that come into this office, so. And Miss Shiloh, so. She hears them all day long though. I guess I'll be quiet because I know everyone wants to hear the fingers. There we go.
That's crazy because I can never get my fingers popped.
Well, I wouldn't recommend self-adjusting anyway, but. Just have you look up one more time for me, just like that. And one more here. So I gotta use a smaller contact with you because your carpal bones are about the size of half of my thumb there. More. Have you lean away from me just a little bit with that shoulder. There we go, right there. Just like that. Told you. All right. So Miss Erica, I'm gonna have you stand up next with me.
Okay.
We're gonna come over to the ring dinger table.
Okay.
This is the one that's gonna take all those compressive stresses off that L4 nerve root on the left-hand side for you. So I'm gonna have you go butt right here, head up this way for me.
Head this way?
Yep. So head right here for me. I'm actually gonna get a towel folded here. Running out of towels today. Seen too many patients.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Love staying busy. Means we're helping a lot of people. So. Right. So Miss Erica, as this table brings those legs up, all you got to do is let them relax. And as you've seen in probably some of those videos, this is the sleeping position that we recommend to all of our patients because it'll keep your spine in that nice neutral position and away from that forward flex and rotated one that brought you in today. So I was able to tell you were a side sleeper with that posture analysis. So now you scoot down up 3 inches for me. You're as tall as our average bear here, so I'm gonna lower yours just a bit. And I want you to raise that head up all the way for me. I'm just gonna slide this down right there. All right. So next I'm gonna pin your pelvis in with these big old cushions here. So these are gonna be very, very tight and they need to be, okay? Have you come down probably about 2 more inches for me. Good, up just a touch, right there. So I'm gonna be going for that space right there on top of that iliac crest, but below that rib cage. I want you to stay nice and flat for me. I don't want you to rotate it all. I'm gonna put the pins in there sideways. There we go. Got you locked and loaded now, huh? Miss Erica, all you gotta think about for this adjustment is keeping those teeth together for me. You don't have to bite them together, just touch them so that tongue doesn't get between there. And then you can interlock those hands and put them right on top of your belly button there for me. Okay. So have you take those same nice deep breaths that we've been working on the whole visit, in through the nose, pull it all the way out through that same nose. Good. I want you to move your hands up your tummy just a bit for me. Help relax some of those shoulder muscles. Good. Yep, right there, and let all that air out for me. Yeah, move that left big toe, Miss Erica. Right there.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't scream nearly as loud as I thought you would. So you should have felt that all the way down to that low back and sacrum there. How far down do you feel it?
I mean, yeah.
All the way?
Yeah.
Good. You're probably expecting a louder scream out of it on that one, huh? So we just decompressed your entire spine with one short, quick thrust. And again, the force that you receive there is not the same amount of force that I would receive versus Ms. Shiloh versus Dr. Johnson. We tailor that to every patient that comes into our office. So we're gonna start way up here on that right-hand side. Have you tilt with me to the right. Now we're gonna look over that left shoulder here towards the camera. Just like that. Nice big breath in through that nose for me. Good, all the way out through the mouth. Got one more here on that left-hand side, right there. So good. Nice deep breath in through that nose. Good, I want you to kind of let that ear just fall into my hand on this right side for me. Just like that. You were sounding off for the crack addicts today. So Miss Erica, what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna have you stand up with me. We're gonna check out your posture again, so make sure you straighten up after the visit today, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna tell patients too that you're gonna be spoiled after coming to this office, so it'll be hard to go see other chiropractors, huh? So next time you stand here in front of the mirror for me. I want you to take 2 big steps back here, this way. Good. I want you to close your eyes just like we did to start the visit. I want you to bend the head all the way forward as far as you can. Good. And all the way back as far as you can. Good. And then back to neutral. Good. So already, and again, I'll have you check this out from the side too. That ear position. When we started the visit today, you were over that clavicle. You're about halfway, almost 3/4 of the way back over that shoulder, which isn't ideal, but much better than where we had you. Again, I'm going to be giving you some homework here to keep working on all these changes that we just made to your spine, pelvis, and extremities, okay?
Okay.
So, the first thing I'm going to do though, is teach you what it's like to live in Houston. I'm going to shoot you. This is going to help relax some of those muscles here after your first visit. Because again, I would expect you to be a little bit sore after today's visit, and that's completely normal at this point because we just got a lot of movement, not only through your lumbar spine and pelvis, but also through that thoracic spine and neck as well. Unlike some of those other chiropractors, huh?
Yes.
Alright, so this next exercise here, this is your homework. This is a mirror image exercise to help combat a lot of that flexion and rotation that brings you into the office, okay? So this is a 3-part exercise. I want you to go shoulders up, all the way back for me. Good. Part 2, I want you to watch my chin here. We're going to go straight back towards the wall. Good, just like that. And now I want you to extend as far back as you can. Good, hold this position for just a second for me. Good. All the way back, have you look all the way back there. Perfect. Good, relax those shoulders. And then one more time, you can relax the shoulders for me. Good, and one more time, I just want you to go forwards and backwards with the neck, just like we did to start the visit. Good. You should feel like I put a little WD-40 in there, but you tell me and you tell the YouTube audience.
No, this is amazing.
Pretty cool stuff,
yes,
huh?
Yes.
So, Miss Erica, how would you compare this to some of those other treatments or some of those other acupunctures or procedures that you've had done in the past?
This is far more thorough and I feel like you did everything that you possibly
Hopefully I explained everything that I was doing along the way too, because
Yes.
that was something else that we talked about, is that some of those chiropractors were doing things and you were trying to explain it to me, but they didn't explain it well enough to you to understand why they were even doing those things in the first place.
Yeah,
That's another thing, is that
the fact that you explained while you were doing it, that was huge.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your first adjustment with all the YouTube audiences out there. This is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Tristan Wendt, coming to you from Advanced Chiropractic Relief in Houston, Texas, with Miss Erica, who's also from Houston, and we'll see you guys soon.